How about basically telling the front office they're done after all these years? The White Sox officially going in a different direction.
Really?
Yeah, it's just come down.
That's news for me.
How crazy is that?
Wow. Lots gone on there. A lot of drama the last couple of seasons with La Russa. And I remember we were in town when Tony was sick, but I saw him on the field, and they said he was going to retire, or he was just going to leave. And I remember Reinsdorf was over there on the phone, and he always is so what a class act he is. He always speaks to me. I'm just a broadcaster, ex-ball player, and he looks at me like I'm somebody, and he always stops and says, hey, shakes my hand. And just from being there, being the broadcast world for the last 23 years and play, he has a great mind for sports. He's one of the iconic owners of all time. But if he wants to say it's changed for a direction, now he's still going to stay at the helm, isn't he?
Yes. Okay. Reinsdorf's, yeah. Reinsdorf is like if you look at Jerry Jones as NFL owners being the top dog, Reinsdorf right now would be that guy in Major League Baseball.
For sure. Yeah. And before him, a guy named George Steinbrenner. Those guys are Hall of Famers. They should be put in. They've changed our game in a lot of different ways, especially George. He'll get in eventually. But having played for him and being his first number one pick, George Steinbrenner, I understand that ownership caliber. These guys get involved, not just as far as making decisions, but they are heavily involved in what goes on. I never believe it with George Steinbrenner, what it was like with George. George was involved with everything. If the lettuce was wilting, he would say, "Who's in charge of this?" I mean, like he ran a tight ship and a beautiful ship. Reinsdorf, same way, except a lot less passionate.
Well, I said this before you came on. There's a few people in this game and there's very few people in life who wake up every single day to seize the day. And it's sad. I wish everybody would wake up, seize the day, be happy. Let's go get them. A lot of people aren't wired like that. You are one of the people, ever since I interviewed you as a player, all your years with the Angels, now all the years with the Royals, you're ready. Every day you wake up, it's seize the day. What is that like being Rex Hudler?
Come on, man. Look, he's nobody special, but he's been a blessed man to be able to have been in baseball for over 40 years, playing baseball for 21 years and 23 years of broadcast has been so much fun. And you never take a day of baseball for granted because, look, none of us are guaranteed. We can't control the crazy guy out on the streets that T-bones us and whacks us, and we get broken legs. We can't play baseball anymore. I remember how much fun it was to be able to have that appreciation and that respect of never being guaranteed anything. And being around this game of baseball, you get to meet people, you get to travel. Right now, I'm having so much fun going to the different cities, and so that's a privilege, and it's not going to last forever. Somebody's young kid's going to take my spot up in the booth someday, and heck, I'll be done, or I get whacked and I get killed. You just never know. So look, I always
no one's taking your job. You're Rex Hudler, for God's sake.
Hey, no, look, you know what? This is so exciting.
You're timeless.
Game. But you know what? Looking over here, seeing my old room dog Aldo and playing against Kotze, what a gamer battler he was. I was at the end of my career when he was just coming in, and to be able to see him have a great career, and now he's a skipper. Yeah. It's just so much fun to have been able to broadcast a lot of these guys' careers, and be able to see him and go meet him and have a pass that lets me in to wherever I want to go on the field. That's a beautiful thing. I can come down here and meet some of your star players.
Hey, how about this? Everybody, even if guys you didn't play with, but the relationships that you have with guys, even that you didn't play, because they all love the way you played. They all love what you represented. There's something about that. Even the opposing guys loved you.
Well, you know what? The opposing in our day, it was a little different. I was a dangerous player, and I wasn't the same guy on the field between the lines I am off the field, because I was just brought up to always hustle. One of the greatest coaches I ever had, managers, was my high school coach named Mike Noakes, who graduated from Berkeley here. And he went in to settle in Fresno as one of the most fantastic amateur coaches in all of the country. And Mike Noakes, he's in his 80s now. He's still alive, still comes.
Really?
And then I was blessed to play for Yogi, Billy, Earl. I got to play for Whitey Herzog. I got to play for Joe Torre, Terry Francona. I mean, the skippers that I got to play for are off the charts.
Yeah.
And I can brag on that because I had nothing to do with it, except Earl Weaver traded for me. Whitey Herzog traded for me. So I only got traded twice in my career, both by Hall of Fame managers. I love it.
Who would you have played for at Notre Dame? football?
Some guy named Dan Devine. And the quarterback was some guy named
Joe Montana?
Yes, believe it. So that would have been special. Oh man.
great.
And you know, the thing about it is, great Dan Devine,
Yeah.
he coached in Missouri, so all the people in Kansas City know of Dan Devine. It's so
Yeah.
fun to tell what a classy guy he is. So when I signed there, I'll never forget it. The highlight tape when I went to Notre Dame was narrated by Lindsey Nelson.
Yeah.
And it was in a theater, and it was so big league. The Irish had just come off a national title in 77. In 78, they signed me up. And I remember sitting in his office, all the Cotton Bowl memorabilia, Air Parsegian, Joe Theismann. It was so impressive. I thought I was in a dream. And he goes, "Kid, I got a scholarship for you." And that's when I was like, wow, really? So let me go home, talk to my parents. So I took the SAT test when I got home, and he calls me and he goes, "Young man, gonna have to take it again. We need your score a little higher." Yes, sir, I promise. Next one, I took it again. He calls me again. "Sir, Rex, you're getting closer, but you need to do it again." So the third time's a charm, and so all that work to get me in, and then I had to tell him the Yankees drafted me in the first round, 18th pick in the country. So I asked my mom, "Mom, will you call Coach Devine and tell him?" She goes, "No, you tell him." So I called him, got him on the phone. I was afraid he might be a little bit upset, and the minute I got him on, "Coach Devine, Rex Hudler from Fresno, California. How you doing, Coach?" And he goes, "Son, I already heard the news. You got to take Steinbrenner's money. You can always come back here. Anytime you want to come back, we'll
They
take
were
you."
cool with it.
Yes.
Because you know what? I'm sitting here going, are you nuts?
Yeah,
You could
no.
have played. And this is when Notre Dame was Notre Dame. The kids today may not understand. Notre Dame at one point in our country was far big. The college football was bigger than the NFL. Notre Dame was huge. You were playing for like a national team. Notre Dame, like when you could have played with Joe Montana. How did you turn that down?
Well, you know what? It's just a great opportunity to play in baseball, and I'm so thankful that my mom negotiated my contract with the Yankees, because we couldn't have I couldn't have an agent because it would have ruined my eligibility. Because back then you couldn't be a college guy and then do pro too. So
if you were to ever go back to college football and you had an agent, you would have been toast.
Right.
All right, I got you.
So my mom negotiated with Al Rosen, shows up at my doorstep. George Steinbrenner's vice president, Jack Butterfield, some of the highest guys and ranking officials with the Yankees. They showed up. My mom said, "Son, go to Mamma Mia's and get you a pizza and come back in 45 minutes. I was like, "Well, we hadn't talked about that, Mom." "No, did you just go?" "Yes, ma'am." "Okay." I went, came back, went to open my front door in Fresno, California, and my door was locked in my own house. My mom opens the door. She says, "Congratulations, son, you're a Yankee." So just like that, she didn't want me in the meeting because she's afraid I'd have jumped at their first offer.
Yeah.
So she went ahead and got me $150,000 out of high school.
Wow,
to play.
that's a lot of money.
That was big cake back then. So I'm so grateful for that. That was a great start for me, and I thought I'd be a big leaguer. In a few years, I had no idea what it was like to be 17 years old and climb the mountain and trying to become one of the best in the world.
Yeah.
Man, a lot of humble pie Hud ate early. Yeah, injuries, backlog. Steinbrenner would buy every free agent player.
Totally.
So it backlogged the system, and so we were in that system, and for years, until finally, man, I was like, "Uncle, I was at my 6th year in A-ball." And George Steinbrenner owned a hotel in Tampa, Florida. And whenever the A-ballers, his A-ball team went there, we could sign off on the food, everything. He took good care of us. So I wanted to write a letter to Mr. Steinbrenner. And I went to my manager, Stump Merrill, and I go, "Stumpy, I want to write George a letter." "What for, kid?" "I want to ask him for a promotion." "Okay." Wow, he looked under the table as he was looking at my package.
Yeah.
Really?
Cojones. What kind of cojones you got?
So I said, yeah. He said, "Okay, keep it short." So I wrote a quick letter. "Dear Mr. Steinbrenner, I would have had a chance to have graduated from Notre Dame and already been a pro football player by now. And I'm presently hitting 300. It's my 6th year in A-ball. Could you please consider a promotion? Thank you." Bam. Played in front of him. Mr. Steinbrenner was at the game that day. And when I took the letter to the lady at the front desk, I go, "Ma'am, when Mr. Steinbrenner comes to town, would you please give him this letter?" She goes, "He's here. I'll take it up to him now." Oh, man, my booty got tight, man.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, I wouldn't expect him to be there. Go to the ballpark in St. Petersburg. There he is with Stump in the stands. Stump Merrill comes out of the stands. In the meantime, I'm playing catch out there, 4 o'clock. There's no one in the seats in A-ball. And I'm playing catch, and my stomach's growling, man. And I'm getting a little worked up. I'm getting nervous. And so Stumpy comes out of the stands. I said, "Stumpy, did he get my letter?" He says, "Yeah, he got your letter." And he was chewing tobacco. He's an old school guy. He's just chewing tobacco, and he spit, and he goes, He loved it, kid. So I went, whoa. I went to the clubhouse and blew up their commode, man, because I was so worked up, man. So I flushed my system out, went out and got him a couple knocks, and bust back to Lauderdale the next day. At 6 o'clock in the morning, I got a call. You're going to AAA. So when you ask the boss for a promotion,
yeah,
bam, he made it happen. Somebody had a mysterious injury in AAA, and HUD got the spot. So now I'm flying this to Columbus and going, hey, look, talking to myself. I talk to myself a lot. I still do. Self, you pop off to a guy like that, man, and you don't perform, you could be toast. So I got there and went off, and now they're talking about trading Willie Randolph. So really, Mr. Steinbrenner gave me not one chance, but 2 chances with that team. And then after a year or so, he traded me to the Orioles, and he wrote me a letter. I still have it. I got it framed. I was so proud. He wrote me a letter. I want to show my mother. We appreciate you and your hustle, the way you wore the pinstripes. You exemplified it a great deal, man. Good hustle. And I want you to be an everyday player for my favorite manager, Earl Weaver. And he wrote me a nice personal letter, and it was something I'll never forget. And he moved me on. And then from there on, I prayed. I asked God for a wife. It was time to settle in. After 10 years in the minors, I had nothing going.
That's a long time.
So you know what happened? God, he always blessed me. But you got to ask him. He's not going to just do that. He lifted Jennifer up, my wife of 35 years in October. He lifted her up, and I went, whoa, God, you got great taste, man. She's hot. She's beautiful. And she got a good heart, too. And he goes, hey, you asked me. Now it's up to you to catch her. Yeah. So my life with Jennifer, that's the greatest thing that's ever happened to me in my baseball career, to have a beautiful wife with 4 unbelievable children. And so people go, HUD, why are you like you are? And I look at them and say, why shouldn't I be? I've never had a real job. I got a great family. I get to go to the big league ballparks, man. There's no other place to play in the world than this. And I've been blessed. So why not give some, you're either a fountain or a drain. You either got life for other people, or you're going to be a drain and suck people down the drain. So I choose to be an encourager and love on people. And no matter who you see in the cities, walking around town, seeing young people. Hey, young man, what are you thinking about in the future? What are you going to do I hadn't thought about it. You need to start thinking about it. So encouraging our youth and our young people, that's the only way to go, because they're the next broadcasters. They're the next big leaguers. They're the next Chris Townsends. They're the next in our future. So why not love on those people?
You're the fountain or you're a drain.
That's right. Now Chris, we're human. We all get sucked down the drain, every one of us. I do too. The key is not to stay down there in the muck, not to stay down there in all the slime and everything. Find a way to resurface and come back up and be a fountain again. That's the whole key.
Well, I'll give you a fountain right now. Bobby Witt Jr., my God, this kid. I saw this today. Barry Larkin, Alex Rodriguez, Jimmy Rollins, and Hanley Ramirez. You're talking about home runs and stolen bases?
Yeah.
Remember when everybody talks about, hey, it's tough to hit home runs at night?
Yeah.
Here in Oakland.
Oh,
anybody see that bomb he hit out to center field?
on a nice pitch down.
Wow.
And he lifted. No, he's got high ceiling skills.
And he's fast.
Yeah, so I had to. So when he hit it, he hit 102 off of Duran. One of the best
kept it inside.
And he never hit a walk-off, and he never hit a slam, and he did it in one swing. And that ball had hair on it, was moving in. Nobody barrels that. And he pulls his hands in and barrels it. That's when he became Bobby Baseball. I'm broadcasting, and I'm going, hey, look, folks, look, I wanted to call him Bobby Baseball last year, but he hadn't shown me enough. But this year, now, after that swing, he's Bobby Baseball. And that's taken off like wildfire. So I talked to my good buddy, Don Mattingly, my former teammate, the only other baseball name guy I knew. And I said, Donnie, I hope you don't mind, but I'm calling Junior Bobby Witt Baseball. I mean Bobby Baseball now. What do you think, Donnie? And he laughed and goes, HUD, that dude is a bad blank. He's a tough guy. That guy's a competitor. If you didn't call him Bobby Baseball, I was going to call him Bobby Baseball. So I got it clear from Donnie. But his range in the infield, he does everything. He does it all. He runs, he flies, he has twinkle toes. They never hit the ground. He's incredible as far as his athleticism and the way he gets balls down here. I'm a little worried about the mound over here, on your field here, because he runs all the way over there. He can run all the way to the outfield. But the greatest thing about him is his humbleness. He's a very humble kid, and he has a high baseball IQ to go along with all those tools. So this is what we're seeing, a superstar in the making.
No doubt.
And the kid J-Rod in Seattle got nothing over Junior, but that guy's good too. But those two are in the same league. So it's a lot of fun to be able to watch these kids and talk about them on the air, Chris, but also to be around him and see how humble he is and how he'll stop and talk and hang out. Skip, what up, man? Skip, do you have an extra spot on your roster?
Brother, you can play for me anytime.
Oh, you know what? I just want to be a utility player. I'll come in. I'll bring a little energy.
A little energy?
Yeah. I love you, Mark.
The most big leaguer I ever met. Outlier introduced me to him on my opening day for me, July 11, 1997. He was in the outfield running full sprint.
In Miami.
Not even in the lineup.
It was a Joe Robbie. It was a Joe Robbie.
Yes.
And Leiter comes over. He comes over, running over. Thanks, Mark. Keep it up, man. Keep having fun, man. Keep it up with these young kids, man. Believe it.
We do the Mark Kotze show every week right here on A's Cast.
Oh, man, aren't you fortunate to have him? What a player. I wasn't even in close to his league.
I played against him in college.
You did?
Yeah.
You got skills too, but you got great hair pattern right now, man. You're in a great holding pattern. Look at that 2-by. How do you do that?
Hey,
Man, I had
grooming cream, my friend.
I had to move mine around, man. Bosley, when I was out in Anaheim, I used to make fun of my 5 head, and Bosley was listening, and they go, hey kid, we can do something about that. Come on in, get a little consultation. So I had him. I saw it. I went, well, that's pretty good. How much it costs? Oh, it's about whatever it was, a hair follicle. We're going to transfer 2,500 hairs. And I went, and it's about $3 a hair. And I go, whoa. They go, but we're going to scholarship you. And they go, really? If it's free, it's for me. I'll take 3.
Oh,
bam.
It's been on scholarship his whole life.
Yeah, they kind of been working a little bit there on the HUD. It's getting a little light up on top, but they help me. But you got great holding pattern, man. You're unbelievable.
Hey.
I'm so proud to be with you.
Thank
you for letting me share.
Hey.
And you know what? We're looking for the future. You know what? Doesn't matter the record. Doesn't matter what city we're in. It's the grand game. This is fun. You watch these young kids become big leaguers. They become guys before your eyes. And in the maturity level, it goes so fast in a career because the career is quick. You see them mature game to game and then year to year. And it's so fun to be able to watch these guys and to be able to pull for them and not be a guy that's got a hammer up there. I'm no expert in baseball, so I don't sit up there and go, wow, he should have did this or he should have done that. No, it's all about this is what he wants to do here. He missed, and I missed plenty of times, and I remember how hard it was as a young player to get established in the game, so it makes it easy to love on him.
He's one of the greats of all time.
No, you guys are in this field here. I love this field. This field's beautiful. This young man right here attacks the game too, man. Keep it up, young man. Keep going. Nothing but speed, bro. Speed never goes into a slump, young man. Never. Never. It's so fun. And so we encourage all of them. We encourage all of them to enjoy their careers. I had a full 10 years in. So look, what do I got to get on them about? It's all about encouraging them.
You have a great call tonight. Have a great series.
Thanks, bud.
And we'll be calling you in the off season.
Hey,
We need a little inspiration. We got to call you. Holiday time. We need a little inspiration. We're calling you.
Chris, these guys are walking off. I get excited being around big league ball players. But the skipper came over and gave me some love.
Tells you all you need to know.
I love the skipper,
Mark Kotze's never come over during the show.
Dig it. You guys are great.
We got more coming next right here on A's Cast Live.